Welcome back. You're watching NewsX and I'm Medha Sharan. Sheikh Hasina, now the ousted Prime Minister of Bangladesh, has sharply criticized inflammatory comments about India's northeastern states and the strategic Chicken's Neck corridor, describing them as perilous and reckless. These remarks, she argued, stem from radical factions empowered during Muhammad Yunus's interim leadership. No prudent statement, she emphasized, would endanger relations with a vital partner like India, on which Bangladesh relies heavily for commerce, connectivity and overall stability. Sheikh Hasina further added, and I quote, "Such provocative language merely fuels extremist delusions rather than advancing the country's true welfare. India is fully justified in its apprehensions, stressing that these views do not reflect the sentiments of ordinary Bangladeshis who recognize that their nation's progress and safety are inextricably linked to robust bilateral ties with India." Sheikh Hasina also expressed optimism that with the return of democratic rule and accountable leadership, this irresponsible discourse will cease. My colleague Rainik Datta joins us for more on this. Rainik, what exactly has the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, said in regards to the Chicken Neck corridor?
देखिए, बांग्लादेश में हादी का मौत के बाद जिस तरीके से प्रोटेस्ट भड़का था, उस प्रोटेस्ट के दौरान ही बहुत सारे एक्सट्रीमिस्ट की तरफ से बयान दिया गया था, जो भारत के खिलाफ में एक भड़काऊ बयान देखा जा रहा था, क्योंकि जो कट्टरपंथियों की तरफ से जो लगातार प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा था और लगातार कट्टरपंथियों की तरफ से भारत को जिस तरीके से निशाना किया जा रहा था, उसमें मेन मुद्दा था कि भारत का जो 7 सिस्टर है उनको बांग्लादेश के अंतर्गत कर ले, और उसके साथ साथ ही कट्टरपंथियों की तरफ से यह डिमांड किया गया था कि बांग्लादेश भारत का जो चिकन नेक कॉरिडोर उसको अपना लेगा, और उसके साथ साथ ही चिकन नेक कॉरिडोर के साथ बांग्लादेश जो भारत का 7 सिस्टर है उनको खुद का हिस्सा डिक्लेयर कर लेगा। इस तरीके का भड़काऊ बयान दिया गया था, भारत से 7 सिस्टर को छीन लेने का हुमकी भी दिया गया था। तो उसी को देखते हुए बांग्लादेश का जो फॉर्मर प्राइम मिनिस्टर है शेख हसीना, उनकी तरफ से ईमेल मार्फत जो इंटरव्यू दिया गया है, उस इंटरव्यू में उनका ही जिक्र फॉर्मर प्राइम मिनिस्टर की तरफ से किया गया है। फॉर्मर प्राइम मिनिस्टर शेख हसीना की तरफ से ईमेल में जो जवाब दिया गया है उसी के मुताबिक कि इस तरीके का बयान को समर्थन नहीं करते हैं। शेख हसीना की तरफ से ये भी कहा गया कि कट्टरपंथियों की तरफ से ये जो प्रोवोकेटिव बयान दिया जा रहा है उसको भारत भी सही तरीके से नहीं देखेंगे। दूसरी तरफ अगर देखा जाए तो भारत के साथ बांग्लादेश का जो रिलेशन है, उस रिलेशन को लेकर भी शेख हसीना बात किए है, उसको लेकर भी शेख हसीना की तरफ से कहा गया है कि जिस देश के साथ इतना अच्छा रिलेशन है, जिस देश के साथ ट्रेड होता है, बांग्लादेश और भारत के बीच में मैक्सिमम ट्रेड होता है, बांग्लादेश का बहुत सारा इकोनॉमिकल सिचुएशन भारत के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है, भारत के बिजनेस के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है। तो जिस देश में बांग्लादेश से आसानी से लोग जाते हैं।
Rainik, I would request you to please stay on with me. I'm also being joined by Ambassador KP Fabian, who is a former diplomat. Good morning, sir. Sir, my first question is, we're now seeing that the Chicken Neck or the Siliguri corridor has come into focus, majorly because of its importance for India's northeastern access. Politicians in Bangladesh have called on to take the Chicken Neck repeatedly. And also now, in the light of Hasina's statements, do you think New Delhi should be taking such rhetoric coming in from Dhaka seriously?
Good morning. Thank you. I do not think New Delhi should take such rhetoric seriously, because if anyone in Bangladesh tries to do anything to the so-called chicken neck, well, New Delhi knows how to handle it. So that is point number one. Point number two is that, well, we do appreciate Sheikh Hasina's statement, but let us not forget a couple of things. Sheikh Hasina fled Bangladesh on 5th August last year, when the security forces, namely the army, refused to obey her orders to fire at protesting students protesting against certain ill-thought-out scheme on employment which she had put out. Point number two even the United Nations has said that she was responsible for 1,400 deaths. So her moral authority to speak for democracy in Bangladesh is seriously flawed. Now, India is watching, and India can take care of any such foolish talk from Bangladesh. Let us hope that there will be free and fair election in Bangladesh. We have serious concerns, but India will certainly cooperate with any government that comes through the election. And don't forget, as the previous speaker also mentioned, Bangladesh cannot prosper as a nation if its leadership wants to have hostile relations with India. That is absolutely foolish.
All right, sir, I would please request you to stay on with me. Former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, has spoken on India-Bangladesh diplomatic strain. She said, and I quote, "The strain you are witnessing is entirely of Yunus's making. His government issues hostile statements against India, fails to protect religious minorities and allows extremists to dictate foreign policy, then expresses surprise when tensions rise. India has been Bangladesh's most steadfast friend and partner for decades. The ties between our nations are deep and fundamental. They will outlast any temporary government. I am confident that once legitimate governance is restored, Bangladesh will return to the sensible partnership we cultivated over 15 years. I am being joined by Ms. Shruti Das Gupta, who is a foreign affairs expert. Welcome, ma'am. My first question obviously is, now that during Hasina's rule, majorly India and Bangladesh were a lot closer, but after the fallout, after Sheikh Hasina was ousted from power, Bangladesh has grown a lot closer to India and Sheikh Hasina. But we're also seeing, would you agree with the fact that right now what we're witnessing is some sort of a rising anti-India sentiment within Bangladesh, and if some other party were to come to power in Bangladesh, India and Bangladesh ties could get back to normal?
Well, it will be surprising if it gets any further normalized. In the past 1.5 years, India has continued the same business relationship with Bangladesh as it has always had. We have, pardon me, we've put barriers to ensure our security in the trades that are concerned, so that our strategic interests are not lost and there is no misuse of the relationship established over the past 15 years. But we've not stopped our economic partnership. That has continued the same in the past 1.5 years. We have even held a military level exercise in March 2025 with Bangladesh. So we've not changed our attitude towards Bangladesh, no matter who was sitting at the helm, because we observe Bangladesh as a good strategic partner. We share 80% of its border with it. So we definitely do not view it with a hostile angle. The anti-India sentiment that is being used and was used for a very long time against India in these past 18 months has purely been local, political, and within Bangladesh itself. They use anti-India sentiments. The extremists that have been placed in power, which I must include, has been part of every analyst's conversation. The illegal government, which is not elected, the student advisors that have been placed in power, are of the extremist mentality, and the only way for them to stay in power is to continue stoking this anti-India sentiment when India has done nothing to do or earn their particular ire. They pulled a rickshaw puller out just because he was wearing a kalava or a red Hindu thread of worship and called him a raw agent. They want to call Deepu Chandra Das a raw agent. It is a way of ensuring their extremist right-wing way of being in power by producing India as a large villain. India has not turned its back on Bangladesh. We've been cautious. We've shut down the embassies when required. We've shut down the visa processing when required. When stability has returned, we've resumed with caution. We have ensured that our internal security matters do not overflow to their side, and we're requesting that their internal security matters don't overflow into India. We have no enmity with Bangladesh. It is their internal issues, and this is how they stay politically relevant. Unfortunately, very similar to what Pakistan does, turning India into a giant Ravan in their head and using it to keep political power within that particular power circle.
Ma'am, I would please